it was a really cold weather, and we were wet because of the sea. Some people were freezing because the point where we left in Turkey, we stayed in that point around 9 hours waiting for the smugglers because there is a Turkish police. They came and they were looking for us in the night, and we had to hide between the trees, and the smugglers, they ran away. Usually the rubber boats, they leave around 4 a.m., 5 a.m. at night. They came back, the smugglers, around 9 a.m. and they said, everything's fine, you're free to go. And they got air, they filled air in the rubber boat, and they made it ready, and they asked us to take it to the sea and just get in. And they said, just go, keep going forward. We were lucky, like the engines was working, we have enough fuel. Unlike other trips, like in other trips they don't have enough fuel, or the engine would just broke down or something like that. We were a group of people, around 53 people. After the Coast Guard, they caught us from the sea, and they helped us being in the island. They dropped us somewhere. They told us, you have to walk and you will find a gate. So it's between mountains, and we had no idea where are we going. We all walked together through the gates, the main gates of the camp, and then we were shocked to see the fence and everything, the closed gates, and people being almost like arrested in there. Behind the fence, people started telling us, do you have any company with police or something like that? We said, no, we're only us. So they told us, go back. Don't go in here, because whenever you get in here, you will never go out. There is a police department in the camp. They have seen us through the cameras, and they came out, they opened the gates, and they took us inside their offices, and they locked the gates on us. After counting, they asked us for IDs or documents, whatever we have to prove our IDs, and then that's what happened. They started registering one by one with the fingerprintings. It took around 5 hours, and they took some pictures for our faces and everything, and then they asked us to have a meal. They brought the food, and they gave us tents, and they said, go find places to stay. The camp, it was full of people, like around 900 people in the camp. So we only had a small spot to be in, and people were gathering up each other. So we had no spaces, and even the rooms, there is big rooms where people can stay with beds and everything. It's totally full. So we had to put the tents anywhere just to ask people permission to let us put these tents. And we stayed outside for around a month and a half. During this period, for 2 months, I guess, from the moment we got in until 2 months, the whole thing the whole camp, it used to be locked, and it looks like a jail. And whenever we ask about the procedures and what's going to happen to us, they just say, you have to wait and wait, but we don't know what are we waiting for. Then after 15 days of being in the camp, they started saying you have to apply for asylum, because they closed this camp 21st of March, and we came 3rd of April, so almost 2 weeks. And during these 2 weeks, the government themselves, the Greek government, they had no idea what to do regarding us. They were waiting for orders. And after the orders, they started telling people you have to apply for asylum. And the UN organization, they started helping these people to apply for asylum. Then when people heard of that, they started protesting. And we did this protest, like the whole camp did this protest. And some people, they didn't take the food. And the 3rd day, some people started talking about breaking the gates, and that's what happened exactly. We gathered next to the main gate, and we started trying to break it, and we made it. We broke the gates and everything, and people started running out of the camp, and a lot of people, they got their bags and things, and they ran away. And we have seen a lot of guys, they got beaten by the police, and they went to jail in front of our eyes. So I was with my family, my dad and sister. That's why no one spoke with us, and we don't have bags. We left our bags in the camp because we knew that we're not gonna make it if we got our bags, and we're not gonna make it anywhere. We're gonna stay in the island. So obviously it's not the solution. And that's what happened. We walked back to the camp, and the next day people were hopeless. That's it. Like they can't do anything further. Like they did what they can do, and that's it. The other day, our names came with around 50 people. So we got shocked why they are calling our names, and we went to find out what's going on. And then we got to know something, that they want us to get our bags and everything, and they want to deport us back to Turkey. At that moment, I went directly to someone working in UN. She became a good friend with my family and us. She said, I will find the solution, and she printed out some papers, and those were the asylum papers. And she has written the day before date, and she went with us to the police department, and she told them that this family, they asked for asylum yesterday, but because of the protests and everything, we couldn't come to the police department to sign these papers. So you can't deport them back, and they want to make asylum. And that's what happened exactly. Then the policeman, he said, okay, fine, sign your names and everything, and stay in the camp. And that's the point where we signed and applied for asylum. I guess it was in the 15th of April. And we kept waiting. And from 25th of April until today, we're just waiting. It's been almost 6 months. In a few days, it will be 6 months exactly. And we have nothing to do. We don't know what to do. And no one did any interview to us. For the camp life, it's hectic. It's terrible. Like the camp, it's, I guess, kind of jail. It would be a better place to stay in, because the facilities in the jail, it would be better, I guess. And the camp is you can't get a proper food or any kinds of normal facilities for any human being. Like everything isn't the way we used to live our life. Like it's totally different, and it's not a place to live in. And generally, it's crazy to stay between thousands of people, and half of them, or most of them, they're hopeless. We don't know what to do, and we thought about going illegally, but it's gonna cost a lot of money, and they always talk about danger in this trip. There's a lot of dangerous things might happen, and blah blah. So that's why for me, like, if I was alone in here without my family, I would go illegally. But the thing is, I have a sister, and my dad, he's an old man, so I won't take the risk and go illegally. That's why we're waiting and waiting. And we'll see how it goes, but we're fed up. Like, we can't wait anymore.
From the war, and to give the help to the people. Thank you very much.
Hello, I am a Syrian woman.